The line judge's key is the receiver in front of him. But even though the blocking clearly indicates a pass and the key receiver immediately goes out for a pass, the line judge doesn't go downfield to cover the play. Good hustle gets him to the dead ball spot, but he would have been in better position to cover the play had he used proper mechanics from the start.
All right, so from a game official, from an educational perspective, today we're going to be talking about mastering mechanics. If he's got the email, you know what we're going to be addressing, so let's keep going. All right, let's talk about our objectives for today. To understand the foundation of officiating mechanics. This is recognizing mechanics as the standard system that ensure consistency, safety, credibility in football officiating. To apply core principles of mechanics in practice. So we're going to talk about how to apply this in your next game. All right, mastering communication, coverage, circulation to manage the game effectively and to minimize errors. So we're going to talk about those 3 C's here later on. And the last objective to adapt training to both the old and new manuals. All right, use the 2022-2023 manual for detailed responsibilities and the 2024-2025 manual for visual, and combining both for complete preparation. All right, so why mechanics matters. So we always read this, but I want to read this in a different light today. So players who practice long hours deserve competent game officials. Now I'm hoping that as many times that we get to cover this, and the many times I keep bringing this up, it will resonate with you all that, hey, we need to be competent game officials who have a complete understanding of the letter as well as the spirit and intent of the rules, and who administer them consistently and fairly. Now, I really emphasize on the spirit and intent on the rules because as I was doing my research for today's training, I came up on this article on page 4, and it says this: officials who recognize their primary responsibility for the player's safety understands that good mechanics make it possible to call the game within the spirit and intent of the rules. So the reason why I brought that up, because right here it really just ties in until that mechanic. Now you remember in our second class I gave a definition. I'm sorry, I'm not even there yet. Let's go on. All right, to get it right, an official must be in a proper position. Thus, the rules drive mechanics. All right. So to get it right, the official must be in proper position. Thus, the rules drive mechanics. Football officiating is more than just knowing the rules. It's knowing your mechanics. Approved mechanics separate genuine officials from those just cosplaying in stripes. So again, for those, this is what I look for. I'm looking for genuine officials. And to get there is understanding what approved mechanics are. So mechanics are the foundation of football officiating. They are not suggestions, shortcuts, or personal preference. They are a proven system passed down through generation of trained officials. The NFHA's Mechanics Manual, which is a game official football manual, I'm going to keep calling it the Mechanics Manual throughout today's training, provides one standard in one language, ensuring that every crew on every field works in unity and consistency. So this is our gold standard, the Mechanics Manual. Mechanics are a hidden skill, often only recognized by those who have been properly trained. Again, I remember when people call me and they say, "Oh, I want to be an official," and they're, I guess we go into our on-field interview, and the first thing they will say is, "Well, I know the rules," and my rebuttal simply, "No, you don't know the rules." But on top of not knowing the rules, really, you don't know mechanics. No one ever looks, before they became an official, ever looked at what the refs are doing, where they're standing, their hand signals they're using. They're not doing any of that. This is a hidden skill that only someone who's properly trained can recognize. They demand more than experience. They require instructions, supervision, and discipline. You're not going to learn mechanics just by getting on the field. It don't come, "Oh, I've been doing it for 20 years, now I know mechanics." It doesn't come like that. If you're not been instructed, supervised, and have the discipline to perfect those mechanics, you're not going to know what mechanics are. When veterans take the time to teach and guide new officials, they preserve not only the quality of the game, but also the integrity of officiating community. Crews cannot be evaluated equally if each uses different mechanics. Fair and consistent evaluation depends on approved mechanics. So again, we're going to talk about what mechanics here in a minute is. We'll get a really detailed definition of it. But understand, when I come evaluate you, if I'm working with you, I'm not only evaluating the rules you know, I'm evaluating your mechanics. And if everybody had a different mechanic, so we do it different over here, or we do it different over there, then the evaluation process is going to be unfair. Then what am I going to gauge it on? Everyone must be doing approved mechanics. So approved mechanics separate those merely who put the uniform on from those who truly uphold the standards. And again, I'm not looking for cosplay officials. I'm looking for those who understand what their mechanics are and operate in those mechanics. The NFHS Mechanics Manual is the approved standard all officials must follow. All right? This is the standard. This is the gold standard that we're looking for from all our officials. The NFH Mechanics Manual is the approved standard for officials. This is a legacy of football officiating: one standard, one language, one crew. All right? One standard, one language, one crew. That is our what we mean by mechanics, and we all follow. In the same article, using approved mechanics, being in the right position on the field at the right time goes a long way towards being able to spot and penalize rule infractions that compromise player safety. Now, what I was about to say, I forgot what that other slide was at, but in 2 weeks, our second class, I gave the definition of what an official is. All right, so I love coming up with different definitions. It helps me to resonate with that. So this is a definition that I came up with. A game official is an unbiased professional who is contracted to ensure the contest is played fairly while overseeing the safety and sportsmanship of its participants. Okay, this is what a game official is. And as we seen in the last slide, using approved mechanics, being in the right place, the right position on the field, help us to fulfill that responsibility as a game official. Now, improvised mechanics, ego-driven shortcuts, and good for me attitudes are a disservice to the officiating craft. Using made-up or unauthorized mechanics break consistency and confuse crews. It weakens the standardization. Crews become inconsistent across the board. So I see a lot of officials love to mimic stuff they see on TV, right? If they kind of like know these mechanics, right? The catch signal or he's out of bounds signal. These signals are not part of our mechanics, and it should not be used, right? Confuse coaches, players, evaluators, and send the wrong message to new officials that we can just do whatever we want. We do not mimic what they do in college. We do not mimic what they do in the professional organization. They have their mechanics manual, just like they have their own rule book. We only do mechanics that apply to us at this level. Now, we talked about this, about coach referee conference, but I want to bring it up because it really fits in here again. Let's read the other one first here. Hold on, give me a second. All right. Following a fourth down incomplete forward pass late in the fourth period, a timeout is properly requested for a coach referee conference regarding the possible misapplication of a rule. Now look at B. The coach of A requests why no pass interference by the defense was called, and why did the covering official inappropriately signal that the pass was not catchable. Again, this is not college. In high school football, if there's contact between a defender made contact against an eligible receiver in the direction of the pass, don't make a difference if the ball catchable or not, it's still pass interference. There's no exception. Oh, he made contact, but the ball wasn't catchable. Doesn't make a difference. In high school, it's still pass interference. In either case, the referee determined that the coach was correct, and an incorrect ruling and an inappropriate signal had been applied. Ruling. A penalty marker may be dropped and pass interference penalized. Misapplication of a rule or an incorrect signal may result in the picking up of a flag or dropping of a flag to indicate that there was a foul given, and then give the appropriate signal. Listen, again, if you're trying to be an official at the high school or youth level, stop watching college football. We do not mimic what they do. What they're doing is not according to high school, and you're just making stuff up. So I remember a while ago, I haven't seen this signal in a minute, but I remember when I first saw this signal, and I was like, what in the world is that signal? I didn't know what that signal was. And then I had to ask, like, what signal is that? And they goes, oh, that's a signal saying that the person close to me is on the line of scrimmage. And I'm like, what? So what is this signal for? Well, this signal on your right side of the screen is a punching bag saying that the player closest to me is off the line of scrimmage. So why do we have another signal when there's a player on the line of scrimmage nearest to you? So I remember when I told the player, the official this, and I'm going to tell you this too. Guess what? The absence of a signal is a signal. Right? The absence of a signal is a signal. So if I'm punching back, saying that the player closest to me is off the line of scrimmage, if I don't punch back, that means I'm saying that the player nearest to me is on the line of scrimmage. So I don't need to create a new signal to communicate to my official across the on the other side of the wing that my player is on the line, because I do that by punching back. If I'm not punching back, then guess what? He's on the line. So we don't, if it's not in the manual, it doesn't exist. We don't make up signals. We don't do all that stuff like that just to be making up these weird signals. All right, so how mechanics work? You don't learn approved mechanics simply by stepping on the field. Experience alone does not equal performing mechanics correctly. So I don't care if you've been officiating for 10 years, 20 years, it does not matter. It does not mean that what you've been doing correctly. Mechanics must be taught by veterans who themselves have been properly trained. And only then can they supervise others to ensure mechanics are done correctly. Without proper instructions, bad habits will develop. And there's a lot of officials that have bad habits. A lot. In the absence of training, officials make things up. So you get on the field for the first time, your crew chief is not teaching you anything, he's not correcting you on your mechanics, so you just start making stuff up. And just because no coach or team complains about your commandment, your mechanics, is not an excuse to keep doing them incorrectly after you've been taught the correct officiating mechanics. Youth football, what majority of us here do. This is the place, this is the platform that we practice, perfect, and polish our mechanics. You know, I just want to say, well, this is youth football, it doesn't matter. Well, you know what? We are the, what's that word I'm trying to say? I had it earlier. We're a feeder program for high school officials. You know, there's a large shortage on high school officials right now. I mean, a shortage. And so we got to bring more young officials up to join the high school associations to do high school games, or, you know, it's going to be a really big problem here in the near future. So it's in youth football that we learn the correct mechanics. We treat every game as though it's a high school game. We don't have a different mentality when we're doing youth games than we do in high school games. They all should be treated the same way. This is where we practice, perfect, and polish our mechanics. Again, in the officiating book, again, I went through this looking for anything dealing with what we're talking about today. This is where it came up. 5 reasons to officiate youth football. And the very first one is skill development. Skill development as an official is the youth football is your zone, is your training grounds to learn the rules, learn the correct mechanics, so that when you get started doing high school, you're ready to go. You done made the mistakes, you done worked it through and everything. And then number 3, mentoring. A great time for people like myself and veterans who know the mechanics can mentor the younger officials so they can learn the craft and become good officials learning and knowing the mechanics. So here we go. Mechanics definition. Now I gave you a shorter of one. I kind of like refined it. This again is my definition of mechanics. Now I think it's very important. Again, when you hear the word mechanics, I want you to know what we're talking about. I want you to see it, taste it, feel it. You need to know what we mean by when we say mechanics. Mechanics are the standardized system officials use to communicate visually and verbally, define areas of coverage, and establish approved movement and positioning to ensure consistent and effective game management. Okay? I know, that's a lot. So all you need to remember are the 3 C's. Communicate, coverage, circulate. All right? This is what football mechanics is all about. It's about these 3 things. All right? So when we talk about mechanics, we could be talking about communicating through hand signals, communicating using verbiage. We could be talking about covering your area and being in your area that you're supposed to be. We can talk about circulate, where you're supposed to be moving to, what position you're supposed to be at, what yard line you should be on. All this encompass mechanics. And these are the 3 C's that provide crew control. All right? Mechanics are the foundation of credibility and trust on the field. Mechanics is the framework for teamwork and consistency. All right, communication. Strong communication prevents confusion on the field. Visual and verbal signals keep crews in sync. We visual hand signals and eye contact. I can tell you, I did many games with our officials, and like I'm looking at them, I'm like, are you even looking at me? Are you even making eye contact with me? You need to make eye contact on every play, before every snap. You should be making eye contact with your officials. I know. I mean, sometimes when I'm working as a referee, I might be talking to a coach, and the ball is snapped when I'm not even on the field or in position. But the reason why, my umpire didn't make eye contact with me. The wing officials didn't make eye contact with me, and they thought everything was hokey-dokey. And it wasn't. I wasn't in position. So always make eye contact with the other officials on the field every down, and use the hand signals, and we'll talk about that here in a little bit. Verbally, whistle. Whistle is a part of our verbal language. We use our voice to give commands, to give cautions, and to confirm. This is what it means to communicate. So some of the common issues that I see when it gets down to communication, poor communication leads to preventable mistakes, right? Not communicating the timeout situation, right? We had a game Saturday where the communication broke down, and my wing official gave the team a 4th timeout in the second half because he did not confirm with anyone else on how many timeouts are remaining. It can happen. You can forget to write it down. You could be getting water. Right? Before you even give a coach how many timeouts, always confirm with 1 or 2 crew members. And if you think it's wrong, stop and figure it out. The downs, not communicating down, not verbally communicating down. It's 2nd down, 3rd down. We have a foul. We got to repeat 2nd down. Not communicating will lead to mistakes that could be preventable. Officials failing to signal their count to their counterparts. Now, I know that there are different high school associations that don't follow the manual. I get it. Y'all have to make stuff up. But according to the manual, the referee and umpire count the offense. I wrote some officials as well. I count the team on the sideline that I'm on. Where do you get that from? It's a made up mechanic. The head linesman, line judge count the defense. And the signal you see to your left is the signal that you give saying that, yes, I have 11 on the field. Coverage. Coverage requires discipline and awareness. Each official has primary duties and responsibilities. Maintain focus area responsibility prevents gaps on overlaps. In other words, you have your coverage area. And your coverage area is not on the other side of the field. Know your coverage area and watch the players in your area. Don't ball watch. And we went over that last week. We don't ball watch. We watch players in our area, in our zone. Again, some common issues. Players and coaches lose confidence in inconsistent officials. Abandoning coverage responsibility. I seen a play where a kid on a kickoff came down and just the play was basically over, and just blindside blocked a person on the kicking team, blindside blocked on a receiver when the play was already over and there was no flag. And the reason why there was no flag, because nobody was paying attention to those players in their coverage area. They abandoned their coverage area to look at the ball, and they missed it. And that player was severely injured because of that contact, and there was no flag on the field. Officials dropping a flag and stop officiating. You see this a lot with the new officials. You see a holding. You drop the flag and you stop. Why? Why are you stopping? You still got to, I don't care if they go another 30 or 40 yards down the field. You should be there with them to supervise. Just as there's another foul on defense or whatever the case may be, We don't leave our coverage area and who we're covering just because we simply drop a flag. That's being lazy and dereliction of our responsibilities and duties. All right, circulate. What I mean by circulate, I'm talking about movement and positioning. Circulation supports the coverage and communication. In other words, player moving downfield, you're moving with them. Approved movement keeps officials in position. Transition, rotations, alignment with the play ensures best angle on action on the play. Some of the common areas, circulation breakdowns creates blind spots. Lack of movement leaves gaps in coverage. Wing officials fail to execute proper goal line mechanics. Again, we're going to talk about the major three that I see every Saturday with officials that we need to get better. So there's a lot more to mechanics, but we're going to talk about the major three that I want to see us get better at. What are these major three? I'm glad you asked. Two wrongs don't make a right. Right? We do not mirror touchdown signals. We do not mirror them. You don't need two officials giving a touchdown signal. In this article here, in this handout, the official close to you don't see the ball. So if you don't see the ball, you don't signal. The other official on the far side sees the ball. It crossed the goal line. He signaled. We do not need a signal from this official for what? You didn't see the ball? If I got to come ask you a question, you're going to tell me you didn't see it anyways. So why are you confirming a touchdown if you didn't see the ball? If the ball's on the far side and is running down the field and that official takes that player into the end zone and signal touchdown, I don't need my other wing official to run down and do the same. We don't do that. We do not mirror touchdown signals. I don't need you to go down there and throw them hands up if you are not the covering official. Don't give up on the play. We talked about this as well, right? Don't throw a flag and then stop officiating. Because in this right here, we have a foul by A, and then we have a foul by B later on down the field. But if you stopped and you don't see that face mask, now what? Instead of being a replay or down, we're going to penalize the offense when there was another foul down there. And it could be some dead ball foul. It could be some fighting down there. You got to be down there. You don't stop officiating simply because you threw a flag. And don't give up the goal line. Goal line mechanics starts at the 10-yard line. A runner should never beat a wing official to the goal line in the 10 yards in. Now I know you're taught you're supposed to wait, let the player come to you, and then you follow the player. That's anywhere between the 10-yard to 10 yards. If you at the 10-yard line, you're going to beat that runner at the snap. You move it to the goal line. You're not waiting on the line of scrimmage. You're not going to see what happens to the play. Doesn't matter if the quarterback gets sacked. Doesn't matter if it's a fumble. Your job is to get to that goal line and stay at that goal line until the play ends. All right? See, I don't make these up when I tell you guys. I don't come up with this stuff out of my head. This is proper mechanics that we're all supposed to be doing, and these are some of the three major issues from not counting, communication, giving up on plays when you throw a flag. These things need to get better because this is the way we're supposed to do it. So what are the 10 commandments? I came up with this. I was having fun. Forgive me. 10 commandments of mechanics. Thou shalt learn mechanics through proper instructions. Again, you're not going to learn mechanics just by getting on the field. I see so many bad habits. Not using stop clock signals, not counting, not using goal line mechanics, just all over the place. Thou shalt not mistake experience for mastery. Don't make a difference how long you've been officiating. If you haven't learned mechanics and you're not using proper mechanics, you're 40% at least. Thou shalt communicate clearly with your crew. Again, part of mechanics. Thou shalt cover your zone diligence. You will not be in other, you're not going to look at other people's areas. You got your area responsible for, and that's what you're going to be responsible for. All right, thou shalt circulate with purpose and awareness. So you're going to communicate. You're going to use coverage, and you're going to circulate. All right. Thou shalt accept correction with humility. Guys, the only way you're going to learn, you got to be corrected. We got to tell you what you're doing incorrect. And I know we're going to talk about the best methods for doing that here shortly. But yes, you're going to be corrected throughout the day. And if you work with me, you know I'm going to correct you. I'm going to tell you this is something that you need to continue to work on so you're not developing bad habits. Right. Thou shalt follow the NFHS manual without deviation. All right. That manual is available not only on our Google Classroom, but is also available on RefTown, I believe. Thou shalt train others as you were trained. That's a caveat only if you've been trained properly. If you haven't been trained properly, you ain't going to train nobody. All right. Thou shalt remove ego from officiating. It's not about pride. It's not about, oh, I hurt your feelings. It's about us learning the real, proper standard of mechanics. That's all that matters. All the other stuff does not matter. Thou shalt honor thy craft. All right? It's a craft. It's a skill that not everybody can do unless they're properly trained. So, when it comes to the mechanics manual, there is no ambiguity. Right? It tells you everything from which foot to use for marking the forward progress to exactly which yard line to stand on for a free kick. The manual is precise, detailed, and leaves no room for interpretation. Our job is not to reinvent mechanics, but to master them. We do that by following what the mechanics manual says. All right, training and mobilization. All right, modernization. All right, teaching and correcting mechanics. How to develop crews through correction and accountability. So let's talk about what accountability is. This is, again, is a, forgive me, I love this stuff. And so this is my take on what accountability is. Right? Accountability has two parts. Account, a record of value exchange, and ability, the skill set provided in return for what? The money. As officials, we are accountable to the teams that pays us. They expect specific skills, knowing the rules, and using correct and approved mechanics. Even though mechanics is a hidden skill that no one pays attention to, but somebody like myself who is properly trained, or someone else who's properly trained, they're looking at your mechanics. But although the team don't necessarily know about this hidden skill, doesn't mean you're not supposed to provide it. So what? When an account, i.e. you, fail to provide the skills being paid for, there's only two options. So here we go. I am contracted through the organizations. I'm accountable to them. You are accountable to me. All right, so think of me as an auditor. Think of me as somebody who's going to check on the books, on their accounts. So I got two options. I can raise the account. How do I do that? Improve your skill level, your knowledge and mechanics through training or retraining, right? So if you're not providing the skills that they're paying you for, we got to get you retrained, or we got to train you, all right? Or the only other option is to delete the account. Remove the service, i.e. you, from assignments if you refuse or cannot meet the standards that they are paying you for. Oh, I said paying for, I can't type. What they're paying you for. So you tell I'm not copying and pasting. I'm actually typing this stuff up, and I typed it in wrong. All right. Mechanics are not optional. They are part of the skill we owe our payer. So there's two ways to correct officials: on the spot versus later. And if you know me, I am a king of on the spot. All right. So on the spot, it provides immediate feedback and connects errors to the play. Right? So you get it right away. You gotta use your downfield foot. You gotta stop the clock. You gotta do goal line mechanics. All right? You gotta get forward progress. You gotta square off. These are things that we do on the spot. It prevents reinforcing bad habits. If we just allow you to continue to do it without correcting you, all you're doing right now is just reinforcing bad habits. You're just building bad habits. And when you build bad habits, it's hard to get rid of them. It shows active mentoring during games. I tell people all the time, if I stop talking to you, I gave up on you. And when I give up on you, well, the rest is history, right? I'm going to mentor you. I'm going to teach you the right mechanics, all right? Now, what are the cons? It risks embarrassing in front of players and coaches. Now, I want everyone know on this training class, I am nothing like I was when I started. I was in the military. I was a ranger. I wanted to be a drill sergeant. So I was completely different than what I am today. I had a pull me to the side, hey man, they like the way I corrected them. I was loud, but I'm better now. And it can distract focus from next play. So you're so concerned about the constructive criticism that you lose focus. So the best practice in correcting on the spot, right? And there's some things I had to learn if I'm going to continue to correct on the spot. Keep it brief and professional. Next time, keep it wider on the side rotation. So, example, next time, keep it wider on the next sideline rotation, right? I got you. All right. Use code words or signals so players, coaches don't pick up on the critique. They're going to be like, he's new, huh? Or she's new, huh? Because they're going to hear how you speaking with it. So what are some of the code words? SNAP. It's a pre-SNAP acronym that I created. All you got to know is S means signal. Signal your count, signal the down. So if I say, hey, SNAP, you know what I mean by that. Nobody else know what I'm talking about. Downfield foot. So when I'm trying to teach officials which foot you're supposed to use to spot the ball, yep, there is a particular foot, your downfield foot. A lot of officials use the predominant foot, no matter if it's going up out of direction. But if you're going right, it's your right foot. If you're going left, it's your left foot. It's your downfield foot. And it takes a while to become ambidextrous with your feet and do it without thinking about it. It takes a minute to do that. So a lot of times, like I got a couple of officials, if I'm spotting the ball and they give me the wrong foot, I wouldn't put the ball down. I just look at them and they say, oh, and they'll switch their feet, and then I put the ball down. Right? So there's different clever ways to reinforce mechanics. Goal line mechanics. I might say goal line, and I said it today. I said goal line, reminding them that, hey, once the ball snaps, get to the goal line. Don't stop. Don't wait. Don't see how the play is going to develop. When the ball is snapped, get to the goal line. I exaggerate stop clock signals. So again, this is one of the neglected mechanics. When a kick ends, when a free kick ends, we blow our whistle and we stop the clock. People just blow their whistle. It's no. We should always, every play, at the end of every play, there should be a hand signal. It's gonna be three with a caveat of a fourth one, right? It's gonna be the dead ball signal, the incomplete signal, or the stop clock signal, right? is going to be a signal on every whistle. If you're not giving a signal on every whistle, you're not doing correct mechanics. If you're just blowing the whistle coming in, it's not correct mechanics. All right. And then you save deeper teaching for halftime and postgame. All right. So quick, low-key correction during the game keeps the official on track immediately. This way you prevent bad habits from continuing and still give them time to reflect. All right. Communication, miss account signal, no confirmation with the crew. Hey man, gotta get a signal. All right. Let us know what down it is. Let us know. Flag thrown, but stop officiating. I'm gonna take, man, why you stop? Or throw a flag. You don't stop. Keep going. All right. Circulate. Officials fail to execute goal line mechanics. Goal line. Get to the goal line. You got to get the goal line next play. All right. All right. So if that's about on spot, what do we need for halftime? Our post game. All right. There's more time to detail explanation. It protects confidence of officials. It allows teaching with diagrams and examples. Now, some of the cons, and this is very true because I experience it all the time. Feedback delayed, hard to recall exact play. Hey man, you remember on that second snap, you didn't give the count? What? Or some official may deny or forget the mistake. Oh, I did do that. Dude, you didn't stop the clock. No, but I did. Dude, you did not stop the clock. So that's the way, hey, I'm gonna let you know now. Stop the clock. I'm gonna tell you where we're going. Stop the clock. Because we don't want to build bad habits. All right? So, there's like patterns needed for like film diagram explain, mechanics missed through onion. So there's like some weird mechanic rule. We may leave that for later. A philosopher disagreement, judgment. I'm not going to argue with you. If you don't want to listen, I'm not going to argue with you. We're going to move on. Let's save it for later. All right? So, the hybrid approach is the best approach. All right? On spot, plus halftime, post game. This bring a stronger official, consistent crews, and better games. So on spot correction prevent bad habits. Save complex teaching for halftime or post game. Use hybrid approach for best crew development. Tie all feedback to the National Federation High School Mechanics Manual. Anything I'm telling you, if you ask me where it's at, I'll be able to tell you. I don't, and this is really crazy because a lot of officials would tell like other people that, man, Andre's telling me stuff, but different my association. Like my association said we do it this way. Well, if your association is telling you something that's not in the manual, yes, do it, but that doesn't mean it's right. They're just making stuff up. They're letting their egos and they're not following the gold standard, which is the mechanics manual. Everything I tell you to do, everything I instruct you to do, you can find it in the manual. All right. Veterans have a responsibility to build the next generation. I know we got veterans who don't care. They don't say anything. And I know why, because people don't like to be corrected, right? People just hate being corrected. And so because they hate being corrected, they don't want to correct anyone else. But as an official and working this skilled position, we have to correct you. We have to make sure you get it right, that we don't want to develop bad habits. So for crew chiefs, you are the leader and you got no mechanics. It's your responsibility to make sure your crew know their mechanics. So give quick and respectful corrections. Save the deep one, teach it for later, and always connect feedback to the NFHS mechanics manual. If you don't know that manual, get it. You're a crew chief. Take time to learn it, and make sure your crew do as well. All right. So, as I was preparing this class, talking about mechanics, Again, not talking about any specific mechanic, but just talking about mechanics in general. You always hear me and you always see me using the one to the left, the 2022, the 2023, and barely reference to the 2024, 2025. And I don't want to be a hypocrite, and I don't want y'all to think, well, you're going to say one thing and you do another. So I had to put this together as well to talk about what changed and how officials feel about this new manual that came out in 2024, 2025. So let's get a little background. NFHS partnered with Referee Enterprise to publish the new 2024-2025 manual. Okay, so they gave it over to an outside company. The 2022-2023 version, the NFHS published, is text-based, which I'm going to show you in a little bit here, highly detailed. The new manual equals visual mechanics, emphasis, play picks, and memograms, unlike the 2022-2023. So the older edition is detailed, precise. It breaks down each official's duty and responsibilities, unlike its new counterpart. It's clear role-by-role guidance. It's strong reference for veteran officials. It's minimal on visualization. It's pretty much no visual, but it's high detailed writing. And I think what they were trying to do, because our new generation, a lot of y'all new generation, y'all don't like to read. Y'all don't even know how to write cursive anymore. So, you get bored and you get unattracted by looking at a whole bunch of words. So they try to create a manual that's more visual than more writing. Right? So this was published by the NFHS Referee Magazine. It's stronger visual content, easier to train new officials, which, hey, is where you're supposed to stand, is less detailed, fewer in-depth role explanations, viewed as a complement, not a replacement. So I offer both. One, so you can actually learn what you're supposed to do, and the other one, so you can see some things. They don't tell you a lot at all. So this is a side-by-side comparison. All right, the 2022-2023 is heavy text, and we're going to show you a little bit here. And then, other visual. The duty and responsibilities are comprehensive, precise breakdown. The condensed is less text detail. The mechanic guidance is described in writing, illustrated in play pics. The training used veteran level reference. We love to use I love the text-based one. I use the other one, but very rarely. I have it, don't even open it. Great for new officials in a new generation, how we're raised today. And overall, it's a standalone detailed reference. I mean, it's all you need. But the 2024-25 is works best as a supplement. All right. So here is a side-by-side comparison of the 2022 and the 2024. And what I did was I screenshot all the writing of the 2023. So you see where it says running play, and it got the referee, and it tells you everywhere from where you stand, how far you're supposed to be, what side you're supposed to be on, everything. Let's look at some more. Look, this is all just the writing part of the 2023. It tells you everything you know. And yes, I love reading it all the time. The headline's been a line judge. After the ball is spotted, look at this. You straddle the line of scrimmage 1 yard beyond the sideline. So when I have officials standing on the field, I'd be like, get off the field. You're not supposed to be on the field. But they're younger. It doesn't matter. You're supposed to be 1 yard beyond this. You don't even want to be touching the sideline. But be 1 yard off the sideline. All right? And it says, after the referee signal next down, signal the down and check the down marker. Right? And it tells you everything that you're supposed to do. Right? Everything you're supposed to watch out for. And it tells you more. After the snap, what are you going to do? Everything is all right there. What line is that? Let's see. Oh, right here. F2. Sound whistle when the ball becomes dead and mark forward progress with downfield foot. Very precise. Tell you what you're supposed to do. It's all right here. There's no ambiguity. It's not like a rule book. We do what it says in the book. We don't deviate. We don't make stuff up. All right? Again, it goes over more. Look what it says for head linesmen who work in the chains in A. Echo referees signal verbally and with proper hand signals. So you'll hear me look at my head linesman and go, first down. And then my head linesman, I'm saying, when I say first down, I want to hear you say it too. Because you're supposed to echo it verbally. We're not, it keeps you in, when you speak, it keeps you into the game. It keeps you from for drifting and daydreaming. We're supposed to use visual and verbal communication on the field. Again, this is all in the 2022, and then it goes to the past, and it starts all over again. Now, let's go over to 2024, 2025. It has a little bit here on what you should do. It's more showing you where you're supposed to stand. It goes into if the run play is up the middle, what you're supposed to do. If the run play run the middle the second time, again, show you what you're supposed to do. If it's a run play up the middle third, what you're supposed to do. So it just gives you a little bit more diagram compared to this to your left, right? You get to see what you're supposed to be doing. But it really leaves out, I mean, if they combine both of these books together, it'll be a 300-page manual, right? Again, sweep to the side. So we looked at going up the middle. Now we sweep up to the side. Look what the line judge is doing when the ball is swept to the other side. Is he standing on the sideline? No, he comes in. He still got this coverage here, but he comes in. So if it's swept to the other side, the head lineman should come in. We don't stay on the sidelines. Again, all right, sweeps. So you can see the difference in how the other manual is compared to the 2023 manual, right? Completely different. And that's why we use a combination of both. So, official reaction, kind of positive. It's clear, visual for mechanics, easy to digest for new officials. The concerns is missing depth of duties and responsibility from the older manual. It feels more like a supplement than a full replacement, and the crews often keep both manuals, like I do. And I also offer those two manuals to you. We'll see what they're going to do for the 2026. They do it every 2 years. We're going to see if they're going to go back to the old manual. Are they going to persist and do the new one? Are they going to change it up a little bit? We'll find out next year. So, best practice, keep both. So you can learn the roles and you can see the visual. All right. Now, conclusion, the 2024-2000 manual, modernizing mechanics training with visual. It is not a full replacement of the older manual depth. Smart approach, pair both manuals and what the state tells you what to do. All right, so let's get a summary of what we did today. We recognize mechanics as the foundation of safe, fair, and credible officiating, right? Mechanics equals professionalism and safety. Approved NFHS mechanics are non-negotiable. We apply the 3 core principles: communicate, coverage, circulate. Consistency comes from discipline. Clear communication, focusing, and positioning build credibility. Connect training to both manuals for stronger presentation. Use both manuals. for complete training. Pair them up together. Because why? It's one standard, one language, one crew. And that is it for the training.